Mobility, Agility, Chiropractic Performance Weekly Live. It is time to learn how to foam roll. So I'm going to let some people get on board. I have our live stream hooked up. As you can see, I have our always friendly house tigers that have decided to join us, because if I'm sitting on the floor, they have to be right here with me. So they'll be with us for a little bit. And tonight we're going to be going over when to, what is foam rolling. I think this is an important topic to discuss, since it is something you can do for yourself while you're at home. There are right ways, there are wrong ways to foam roll, and it really has almost become listed as a cure-all for everything. So here's some fun facts I learned about our handy dandy foam roller. I prefer the slightly smaller ones simply because the really long, massive ones, I always end up cutting in half because they just take up too much space. So I want to say, hey, Mom, hey, Austin, hey, James, welcome to our live stream on foam rolling. Let's start off with some fun facts. I had no idea how long foam rolling had been a thing. And when I was reading up on it, I found out it is 32 years old. How do I know that? It was created in 1987, which I had no idea. And it initially was made by a physical therapist and used within his practice, and then it was heavily infiltrated into the dance world. So dancers were utilizing it. It didn't become really mainstream musculoskeletal fascia until 2009. 2009 is when it finally got linked to working on our fascial system. And what is fascia? Fascia is the covering with which covers the muscles. I like to think of it kind of like the saran wrap casing of the muscles that allows it to slide next to the muscle next to it. And it's a tough, strong material. And our full understanding of what it is and what its potential for uses and how it affects us pain-wise, I don't know. Hey, Austin, oh, you're most so welcome, and I miss you this year. I am so sad that we don't have River City Rhythms. Oh my goodness, I am so sad that we're not going to be doing that this year, next year. So, foam rolling. Is it a warm-up? Is it a cool-down? Is it a recovery? It all depends upon what you need and what you're looking for. I like to kind of use it as a blended system, but mainly for recovery and end of workout activities. That's where I find the most benefit from using a foam roller, and that's where the research says it has the most benefit. Granted, research isn't great on it. When it comes to, does it provide performance enhancement? Not a significant difference. No significant improvement in jumping, no significant improvement in lifting heavier, but there might be a chance for recovery and self-pain management. Granted, when looking at how to foam roll, it was found that working through what we would call the posterior chain, so your low back, your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves, and then into your quads, provided better mobility and flexibility for movement-wise compared to like rolling out your IT band, your lats. So it really kind of just depends what you're trying to do with your foam roller. So I want to give you some quick and easy things that you can utilize while you're at home to best keep yourself mobile. And hey, Janessa, welcome to the live stream. One of my favorite things is to loosen up my mid-back. I spend a lot of time at the computer, especially now with marketing and just sitting there all rolled forward and bad head carriage. So let's look at how we can utilize it to just open up our back and really create space and actually provide you some release. So when I'm feeling really tighten my mid-back, which mine is a mess. For a chiropractor, I have a really bad back. And this is how I can just help make myself feel a little bit better. So if you have a foam roller, I'm going to let you go ahead and grab it so you can follow along. What we're going to do is start right here in the low back, lay on it, and then you're going to not roll on the roller. You're going to extend over the back and reach. Sorry if you heard a bunch of cracking. This is how I release my back. Roll over and just release that back. And mine is really locked up. Now I'm going to roll up a little bit and extend over again. And we're simply going to work our way up the back slowly and creating that extension. Now with each movement, hello my friend. With each movement, you're going to feel your back loosen up, feel your chest open up, and really create more movement. Because I can already tell I'm feeling better. Because when I first got onto this, I could not have my hair touch the ground. And now, I'm going all the way back. Now, that's how I like to warm up my back before lifting. Because to get into a good squat, you have to have that mid back right here in that thoracic lumbar junction between your thoracics and your lumbar. You have to have movement there to get a good position for squatting. And that's one of the areas we have really bad movement, and this just kind of helps open and extend that. Now, at the end of a workout, you can simply lay out on the foam roller, either with it horizontal, just similar position, and just lay. But if that's too much, you can turn the foam roller like this, get your whole back on it, and just open up this way. It creates a less intense position for your back and head, but then you can just lay out and let your entire body open into an extended posture, which we don't get and we're sitting at our computer. It's really awful. So I see we got Kaylin and Sue and Pam and Noah and Pedro and Angie and Todd. Welcome to the live stream. Let's make sure you get some content so that you can help take care of yourself. So we just kind of went through that mid-back thoracic opening. What else? A common thing I see people rolling out is their IT band. And you know what? It's a tendon. Tendons don't stretch. So you're rolling this out and that hurts. You're a bit of a masochist to yourself. I cannot stand to roll that out. And really, applying pressure to it isn't going to provide you any additional stretch. What you need to do is roll out the muscle. And the muscle is way up here on the hip, and that's your TFL. Or in the big words, the tensor fasciae lata. But we'll just stick with the TFL. So for that, this is where you can really roll up onto your side, lean over, and then you're just going to slowly move right within this path. So you're right on that. You don't need to extend all the way down to the side of the hip into the IT band. It's not going to provide you any care. Granted, there are going to be hundreds of people that swear by it, that's what makes them better. And guess what? If it helps them, kudos. It hurts too much, and I don't see any benefit. So I like to just gently roll right up on that TFL. I can then turn and get right in onto that glute and piriformis. If I want to deepen that, I turn, straighten out my other leg, prop this up here, get into that nice figure 4 position. Really dig that out. This hurts. I'm going to smile through it though. This is not a comfortable position, but it helps kind of loosen up those hips. So I start by loosening up my mid back. I roll my lateral hip. I roll onto my glute. And then I'll switch to my other side and just roll that out. And really it's to tolerance. You'll kind of know when you've hit the right point. Everything starts to loosen up. You're also getting a little bit of a stretch with some functional movement in here. Just with that light, gentle rocking. Right there is the tender spot for me. And then you flip to your other side. Oh, I bet you are, Janessa. The IT band is not necessary. You're going to be so happy. So I see we have Taylor and Travis and Frank. Welcome. So we've now hit back, lateral. Got to get the front of the hips. There is no good way to not have that front of the hip feel so wonderful position. But you can kind of tailor that by getting in a little bit more of a plank position. So I only like to roll one side at a time. So we're going to do this front hip. I'm going to make sure I position it right there. And then I can control the pressure by how much weight I put on it. And you're going to want to roll all the way up past your front hip bone way up here and then all the way down onto your mid quad. And that's kind of going to hit that hip flexor, which I know mine is dying. Mine is dying. So just roll up, roll back down. And again, this is all to tolerance. I then sometimes...
Could you try again?
Oh, shush, Siri. I then sometimes will just stretch it out, really sinking deep into that hip flexor just to kind of relax it. Sink back, flip into a hamstring. Again, just trying to get things moving. I typically would use these more for recovery post-workout. The mid-back. No. The mid-back opening, that's how I start all my warm-ups. That's how I get my body ready to hold the weights and do what I need. I then use these to recover after my lifting. So whatever body part I lift that day or exercise, that's where I'm going to focus my foam rolling. Now, if you're not working out, it may be important to just do these at the end of the day to help you loosen up after sitting all day. Because that, really, this is not something I like to roll. I like to do more of a static pressure on. It feels a little bit better to me just because it hurts. It hurts to foam roll it. And I'm a I am definitely the provider that will dig in on whatever muscle and do whatever you need. And I'm sure some of my athletes and patients can say I'm a little bit of I think I've been called a sadist. I have devil thumbs. But when it comes to actually having care done to me, I'm a baby. I am a crier. Dr. Beth, a fellow provider that works with the Minnesota Vixen, can vouch. I am not fun to work on. So do as I say and not as I mean, I'll let you do it as a patient. Like, I will let you work on my subscap. I'm just going to cry about it the whole time. So for me, when I get to control what I'm doing when it comes to soft tissue, I'm a little gentler on myself. So for our pec, we're going to lay on our stomach. We're going to dig in and just kind of angle it and just let it relax. Now, I like to hold pressure, so it's a little bit more comfortable. It doesn't hurt as much. I might add a little rolling just to find the point that is most uncomfortable. You then can reach your arm. Sorry for the zoomy right there. That was a little scary. You can reach and stretch your arm and just kind of let that relax. Whatever feels best for you is the right movement. You then can roll up onto, I'm just going to switch sides just so you can roll up onto your lats and make sure to hit those. Now for this, you want to make sure you're getting your arm all the way up and you're rolling back and just kind of releasing that. The one thing, you want to find the points that you're having the most discomfort and simply relax and apply some deep pressure to those areas. Really what we're trying to do is between the fascia, there are some chemical bonds going on, some peptidoglycans in the big words that have gotten stuck. Or how I like to look at it is between the fascia, there is a fluid that helps them slide back and forth, similar to, let's say, butter. And when the butter solidifies, things don't slide as well. So what we're doing is we're applying some heat, theoretically. This is theoretically what we're thinking. We're applying some heat, we're applying some pressure to help break up those bonds so that everything slides more easily. And thus, reduces pain, improves movement, improves function. Is that exactly what's happening? Don't know yet. Research is still out. We're waiting to hear the official word. But those are kind of the thought process. So when you find a really painful, tender point, just work into that area. We're never wanting you to have severe pain. I never want someone to do something where they're sitting at like a 7 out of 10 pain. And wherever that 7 out of 10 pain for you is different for each person. But I'm okay if you're at an uncomfortable 4. That's an okay place to be, to work through that area and help you feel better. So again, if there's a specific body part you want to see how to hit that you haven't quite figured out, granted there are parts of the body that don't foam roll as well, like the bottom of the feet, that I like to use lacrosse balls or golf balls to kind of just roll my feet out and put some flexibility and movement into them. Really, any part of your body can be treated using a foam roller and having it kind of stretch and release. And this is a great way for you to kind of take control of yourself. And right now, granted, it looks like Minnesota is going to be starting to open up next week. So Monday, I'm going to be opening up online scheduling again. So if what you're doing at home is not working, go ahead, hit that up, get an appointment, and get taken care of. Otherwise, again, if you have a body part that you want to see foam rolled, I will do my best. There are some things I absolutely despise. I don't like foam rolling my quads. I kind of feel like a beached whale, if I'm going to be honest. It's not a pretty thing. I will work on my hamstrings. For me, my hamstrings are almost overstretched because I stand with my pelvis tilted forward. So I stick my butt out. So it's more important about me doing cat-cows and reestablishing where my pelvis is and getting it in a more neutral position to alleviate that sensation of tightness in my hamstrings. And that's made a huge difference. They don't feel as tight and I'm more flexible because of it. So any questions, go ahead, hit that up. If you're watching this on replay, you can still ask your questions. Just ask them, #replay. I hope this was beneficial. Live videos are always kept on the channel and can be rewatched. I also take them and upload them to our YouTube channel, which is also called Mobility, Agility, Chiropractic Performance. So if you want to search them there, I'm a little behind on my uploading of the live videos on YouTube, but I'm working on getting caught up. So I definitely hope that this was beneficial and you were able to get some information on how to foam roll basically your mid-back, your hips. Stay off that IT band. It is not necessary. It causes more pain than benefit. Roll out your upper hip into the TFL. That's going to give you the most bang for your buck for creating reduced pain in the lateral hip. I know my house tigers have been readily visible and available this video for your enjoyment and entertainment. So if there are no other questions this evening, I will let you go. If you have a topic idea for next week, go ahead and feel free to comment below. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful evening and you are helping yourself get better faster, stay better longer, because no one has time to be sidelined. I will see you next week at 6:30 Central Time here on Facebook for our weekly live. Have a good evening. To keep up to date with future content, please click subscribe. Additional information is found in the description of this video.
All information, content, and material of this video is for information purposes only and are not intended to serve as a substitute for the consultation, diagnosis, and/or medical treatment of a qualified physician or healthcare provider.